Today on the show, we're looking at where you really want to go. And a big part of this is decluttering old stories and beliefs. By letting go of all the shoulds, you can be motivated by the want tos. Be sure to stick around to the end for the guided imagination practice. It's a very special one you won't want to miss. I'm Suzanne, Alyssa, Andrew, and this is Stardust and Courage, the podcast where we use writing, curiosity, and imagination to see beyond challenges and make life more meaningful. It's mindful writing to go deeper, grow, and imagine. And I'm so very glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Back when I was younger and more traditionally ambitious and living in Toronto, I was out one Saturday night catching up with a dear friend and having a fun time. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a colleague who just won a major literary prize, seated at a nearby table, waiting for somebody. I tried to catch their eye to wave hi, but they avoided eye contact with me and kept checking their watch and phone. Eventually, they got up and left, avoiding eye contact with me the whole time, and I realized they got stood up. At the time, I remember being somehow shocked that you could achieve a major literary prize and get stood up in the same week, because accolades impressed me so much. I thought they impressed everyone. And I realized major accolades are wonderful, but on their own, they aren't enough to lead a good life that I want and love. Success to me is a balance of challenge and love, of achieving and being, of being and doing. And I still struggle to get it right. That's because things are always changing, which is why it's good to revisit what success really means to you several times a year to stay motivated and in the groove. And it's so important to define success on your terms, not anyone else's, because to be authentic, you have to be on your own path, aligned with your own vision and values and dharma. You have to be living the life that's for you, aiming towards what's for you. Before we get into the visualization, let's look at 5 of the biggest obstacles standing in the way of our best writing. By getting curious, we'll begin to dismantle them so we can move forward lighter and freer. The first cluttery obstacle standing in our way is usually comparison. Comparison is dangerous and can pull you wildly off track and kill you or your creativity. It's really important to remember that social media is a highlight reel, not a full life representation. You've had a unique life with unique circumstances. And no matter what, it's important to accept and be proud of who you are and where you are and see where you can go. Now, you can use comparison wisely and with intention to show you what's possible for you. So if somebody in your writing group or somebody you know who's an author gets a publishing deal or wins a prize, you can think of it and frame it in the way that that is possible for you as well. That's a wise way to use comparison. That's what's possible for somebody else is also possible for you. But don't use comparison to shame and blame yourself. That'll really take you down. The second obstacle is unnecessary expectations. Having too rigid expectations can cut you off from opportunities because you can't see them. You won't be able to see offers that might be fun and help you grow. And if you tend to be hard on yourself and have really high expectations of yourself, you might be hard on others too. Boundaries around your writing are really important, but notice where you have brick walls. And allow possibility and allow some play. Allow yourself to see things and have perspective. The third obstacle to consider getting rid of is unhelpful pressures. So an example of this is timing. Writing and publishing can move at such a glacial pace. And deadlines and milestones are good, but holding on to unrealistic timeframes can really stress you out. I know for myself, I'm the queen of impossible to-do lists. I put pressure on myself to produce a lot more than is actually possible to do. So it's important for me to get grounded and look at what's realistic. We're more creative when we're calm. We have a restored sense of play out of fight or flight. So it's important to identify timing and other self-imposed pressures that no one is asking for and let go of them so writing can be fun again. The fourth obstacle standing in your way might be limiting beliefs. So these are beliefs and stories around not enoughness, imposter syndrome, your writing not being good enough, or your writing having to be perfect. It's really important to identify these kinds of ego stories and inquire if they're true. And to do this, I recommend the work of Byron Katie, who has a very interesting and effective system of looking at ideas and stories and inquiring to see if they're in fact true. And in this process, it's really important to note that feeling less than is an ego story that's as false as feeling better than. Both of them are untrue. You're not worse or better than anyone else. When it comes to limiting beliefs, self-imposed limits hold us back from our true potential. So they're really good to let go of. And the fifth obstacle that can be standing in our way is negative gatekeeper stories. I once heard a money coach on a podcast say, if you hate wealth, you'll never attract it. And the same is true for publishing and literary opportunities. We writers love to grumble and complain, and our literary and publishing systems do suffer from problems like systemic racism, classism, misogyny, hierarchies, and capitalism. And those issues and problems are important to be addressed. And also, good stuff is happening within our literary and publishing systems too. We can't throw it all out. If your authentic truth has you wanting to do things in new ways, research new publishers. They're out there. So are new journals and new groups doing just that, doing things in new ways. And if you can't find anything, maybe your gift is to be the leader you want to see in the literary world. Again, all of this starts with the self-inquiry around what's true. What's true for you? What's true for me? What do you want to see? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to bring? If you need help working through your self-imposed limits and letting go of old stories so you can move forward, talk to me about coaching. It's definitely all a process. But let's practice now in our imaginations with our guided visualization. Let's begin by becoming present in our bodies in this moment. You can put your worries on an air balloon and let them float away into the sky. They don't need to distract you for the next few minutes. This is your time. To ground yourself in the present moment, look around you and notice 3 colors. I see a blue polka dot on a notebook, a green pen, and a fuchsia card. Release the tension in your shoulders, neck, and arms. And if it feels right and you're not driving, give yourself a hug. Now you can soften or close your eyes. Slow your breathing gently in and out. In your mind's eye, imagine you are in a beautiful, elegant hall. This is your hall of celebration. The walls are painted your favorite color. And there are gorgeous portraits of you by your favorite artists. In each portrait, you are genuinely happy. And you want to feel that way again. But your hall of celebration feels dusty and cluttered right now. It's full of old ideas you no longer need. You see a handle on the wall, and when you pull it and look inside, you see it's a recycling chute. Now you notice throughout your hall are broken mirrors. These mirrors feel unlucky and tarnished, so you collect them all and see that they're all old comparisons. You no longer need them, so you throw them down the recycling chute, and the room feels instantly brighter and clearer. Next, you pull the dusty old sheets off the furniture. These are your unnecessary expectations, and by throwing them down the chute to be recycled, you uncover beautiful furniture and a stunning gold cup on a table in the middle of the room you couldn't see before. Inside the gold cup are a pair of pliers, a hammer, and some nails. And you can see they're scratching and damaging the integrity of the gold cup. These are your unhelpful pressures. And down the recycling chute they go. Now the gold cup is shinier and more lustrous. At the bottom of the gold cup are some dead flowers and old moldy leaves that smell musty and have to go. These are your limiting beliefs. And as soon as you drop them down the recycling chute, the air in the hall is fresher and more vibrant. Last to go are the negative gatekeeper stories, which are written in soggy old notebooks cluttering up the table. As soon as they rattle down the recycling chute, the table and the gold cup gleam. Now that you've decluttered your hall of celebration, you open the big picture windows to let inspiration in with the fresh breeze. You sit down on a velvet sofa to decide what you want to add to your hall of celebration. Do you want to add any of your new writing and new stories, books, essays, screenplays, song lyrics, poems, or anything else to the glass table or the shelves displaying what you've already written? What writing would you like to add? And what else do you want to add to your hall of celebration? What do you want to fill your gold cup with? What will help you feel good and successful? What do you genuinely want to share with the world? Accomplishments, recognition, feelings, moments, memories, light, presence, love. There's room here for all your dreams and desires to shine. Take a moment now to search your heart and soul for your deepest, truest desires to add to your hall of celebration. Remember, what you want wants you. It wants to materialize here with you so you can treasure it and share it and shine it into the world. When you're ready, I invite you back from your hall of celebration and into your room. Sometimes your deepest dreams and desires can take time to emerge, so I invite you to spend time this week collecting them and writing them down. You might want to note them down in a prominent place on your desk or phone as reminders of what you're working for. If you need help reaching for your writing dreams, get on the wait list for coaching with me. I'm booking for November, December, and January if you're listening to this in real time. My course, The Sparkle Technique, is also a good fall reset. Visit my website for details. I would love to work with you, and I would love to see you in my course. I love to see you shine. Your Hollow Celebration is an inner resource you can visit whenever you need direction, clarity, or reassurance. You deserve to feel proud of who you are and what you create, no matter what. You are precious, and what you create has value. Sending you stardust and courage. Until next time.